Here we go. This is it. Bringing the swords up. I can't believe we're here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bleach fans around the world, this is the big one. For me at least, though I get the impression the community in general has been pretty excited for this week. At long last, with episode 35 of the 1000-Year Blood War arc titled Don't Chase a Shadow, we've arrived at what feels like the premiere fight of the core. KYORAKU Shunsui versus Lille Barro, the captain commander of the Gotei 13 versus the leader of the Schutzstaffel. This is the battle that I've been looking forward to the most here in part 3, and I'm truly excited to see what the anime has in store for us. Whether or not this episode ends on Kyoraku's Bankai, which is sure to be a major milestone moment, I'm not entirely sure, but either way, it's going to be a spectacle. We're also supposed to be getting some of Ichigo versus Askin this week as well, whatever that entails, as teased by the preview images from last time. So really, for me personally as a fan, as somebody who really enjoys this particular cocktail of characters, this promises to be a great time all round. So I'm going into this episode then with very high hopes, high expectations, and just a little bit of preordained bias as well, to be completely honest. Kyoraku is my favourite captain, so how could I not be excited for his moment in the sun? Anyway, let's get on with this reaction and enjoy the episode together. As always, I'll be watching this episode from the perspective of someone who has read all of the 1000-Year Blood War arc in its entirety, so expect potential spoilers in the video to come. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me and the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button now down below, and I really do appreciate all of your continued support. Right, with all of that out of the way, let's get started on episode 35 of the 1000-Year Blood War arc titled Don't Chase a Shadow. Okay, so we are starting things off immediately with the continuation of Mayuri versus Pernida. I do love that shot of the Jizo sitting back after its meal, and of course Mayuri's diabolical laughter. But we are moving straight into chapter 640, and Pernida is going to escape the Jizo in the same manner, it looks like. Now we cut away. Okay, now this is the start of Kyoraku versus Lille, so that's an interesting place to cut away from Mayuri's fight. If the anime isn't going to continue with the idea that Pernida is defeated, then I wonder why even bother splitting the fights up at all, but there you go. Yeah, so this is now the start of Kyoraku versus Lille. Again, he has them in his sights, but this is now straight from chapter I want to say 644, I think it is. I can't remember exactly. So considering that so far this is straight from the manga, I'm actually not sure anyone is going to be sniped. Apart from Kyoraku. Yeah, so Kyoraku is jumping into the fray. So Soifon appears to have escaped unscathed, which is pretty exciting for her. That's cool. I love the music cutting out the moment Kyoraku gets blasted. That was really cool. You kind of feel like Nanao and Shinji, now that they've gone to Kyoraku's aid, would be sitting ducks for Lille. Daruma-san Gakoronda, that looks really awesome. What a really cool effect. Highlighting the floral pattern on his Hayori as well. That's so awesome. Okay, first of all, I love how heavy the barrel of Lille's gun is to crack the floor like that. And also the background featuring the actual fortress of Varvelt looks really cool. That's an exciting setup. And that was always really awesome when Kyoraku took Lille's gun essentially with a swing of his sword. Very, very cool stuff. Okay, the opening's playing out now, diving right into Kyoraku versus Lille. I have to wonder, because I thought the idea behind splitting up the fights, Mayuri versus Pernida and Kyoraku versus Lille, was the anime was going to pretend that the good guys had won, and then flip that on its head when the next rounds came around. So the fact that Pernida has already essentially been revealed to be alive here by destroying the Jizo, though you don't see Pernida itself, to be fair. I don't really understand what the point of splitting the fights up is, because you may as well just carry on with Mayuri versus Pernida at that point, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's just an odd little detail, I guess. But still, so far this is looking really good, I think. I love the main fortress of Varvelt acting as the kind of core of the backdrop of this fight, potentially. That's really awesome. It kind of highlights the importance of these two warriors on either side. Again, see, that's a really cool shot. That's an awesome angle, seeing Kyoraku and Lille having a face-off like that, and all of Varvelt's central fortress in the background looks fantastic. Okay, I mean, so far, just like Mairi versus Pernida, this has stuck to the manga to the letter. Of course, so Nanao is here initially. I love that instinctively she goes with her captain. That's very cool, no matter the danger. And of course, as he says, the fact that she keeps up with him is mightily impressive in itself. She looks really cool there, again, taken straight from the manga. That's awesome. Again, this is what I mean. Varvelt Palace makes such an awesome background. That looks really cool. And the lighting is really nice in this episode as well, I feel, because obviously they're on top of a building. Is this a new soundtrack while Kyoraku explains Daruma-san ga Koronda? I don't feel like I've heard this before. Pretty cool, though. I think this is new. And it's, again, really awesome that you get to see multiple new Shikai games in this fight. Oh no, this isn't new. Now this is transitioned into a familiar soundtrack, so maybe it was always the same one. That's so cool, though, seeing Kyoraku running up the essentially the Reiatsu pathway. That's really awesome as his ability plays out. Also, just from those couple of shots, like the bullet wounds that Lille is making, I mean, that's way more graphic and bloody than it was in the manga, essentially. Yeah, the artwork is really nice this week as well. Yep. The shadowy faces, that looks so good. Both Lille and Kyoraku looking really sinister. I'm excited for this. The fight is just getting started. We're about to kick things off. Kyoraku is about to have his declaration that he is, of course, the Captain Commander, which is a great character moment. Oh yeah, I think this was the first time the concept of Reikaku was actually introduced, if I remember rightly. I mean, that is so awesome. That's a crazy accomplishment that Kyoraku solidifies his Reiatsu, essentially, to look exactly like him and act exactly like him when it gets shot to fool Lille. And of course, there is the badass shot. That's so cool. Oh, now we're moving away. Okay. The fight continues right there in the manga. I like that they've left in the Shinji Momo moment. That's quite nice. Kisuke is still there, so he's presumably going to be with them when they run into Gerard, which might actually happen in this core. In fact, I think it probably will. Nice to actually hear Ukitake's voice. That's a nice little detail. I like that. Am I missing something, or is Rukia not here? Have I missed her? And of course, Shinji calling back to Yamamoto. See, Shinji has this really awesome moment here where he kind of takes charge. Oh no, there's Rukia. So I really hope that he actually gets to do something. That's a really cool shot as well, the camera pulling away. And now the fight begins. I love this effect on Daruma-san ga Koronda. Look, that looks so awesome. Kageoni, that's really cool to see as well. That's the first time anybody dodged my Kageoni on the first try. Well, that's because Stark didn't know it was coming. Just saying. Yeah, and so Kyoraku's been blasted through the foot. So interestingly, where Lille was using bullets when he sniped the Gote 13 members before, he is now presumably using the X-axis. He looks really cool there as well, to be fair. Oh, see, look at that! Kyoraku just got absolutely blasted. That is... I mean, that's way more gory than anything that appeared in the manga, I think. These sinister shadows of Kyoraku's look really cool as well. The kind of gold Reiatsu is quite interesting as well. It's a nice touch. Kage Okuri, this is another new Shikai game. Oh, I like that. That's a cool touch. The creepy, like, laughing children. And that child has the hairstyle of Katen. I think, if I remember it rightly. But that's cool, though. The creepy silhouettes of the laughing children. That's a nice touch. Okay, so this is now the end of 645, I think. I might be getting these wrong, but... Again, is this new music? The soundtrack, I would say, so far, suitably creepy and weird and cool. And this is, again, totally faithful to the manga so far. That's kind of an interesting, I guess, paradox, in the sense that because the Mairi and Kyoraku fights are so long as it is, that was awesome, and Kyoraku appeared right behind him like that. Nice slash as well, that's really cool. Because the fights are already so long, the anime isn't likely to add anything new, which in a sense is a bit of a shame. That's really cool as well, Kyoraku's shadow just disappearing. Now see, that path of shadow on the floor kind of looks like the pine needles from his Bankai. That's cool as well, the kind of army of shadowy Kyoraku's converging on Lille, but here we go. I'm so curious to see what his Volsten dish looks like as well. There's no way we'll see phase 2 in this episode, so it's just phase 1. And I really can't wait to see what it looks like. The Vandenreich theme playing is a really nice touch. I'm assuming he's going to have green wings. I'm assuming it's going to be green wings, but then a normal body. Or not normal, you know what I mean? It's going to look... That's cool! He's opening his second eye in the flashbacks. That's awesome. Not quite what I said I wanted to see way back when I did a video on this fight, but I did like the idea of us seeing him open his eye at some point. Really, that's a nice detail. I like seeing that here. I was kind of hoping we might get a flashback for a character like Lille at some point, but I'm not sure. I mean, if the fights remain this faithful, then there's not really going to be any chance to do that. That's really cool, though. That looks awesome. Great theme choice, I think. For the leader of the Schutzstaffel, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Here he comes. The church bells. He looks great! That looks really, really good. He looks really good. No, that's not the end of the episode. Okay, I was going to say, the episode number came up then and gave me a bit of a concern. That feels like the end of the episode, but it's not. We're about halfway through. All right. Lille's Volstendish looks really good. Really, really, really good, I think. The green wings actually work really well. And yes, he has a normal body. All right. I'm very excited. There's something really oddly satisfying about Kyoraku's blood actually, like, trailing behind him like that. It's quite just a good detail. I like this sort of sinister music playing because Kyoraku is honestly big trouble here. That's cool. Oh, that looks awesome as well. Lille's blast's just like, that is very cool. Looks great. The green Lille looks awesome. I'm really happy with how, look at the teleport looked really cool as well. Suitably angelic and kind of creepy. Zangarin, this is pretty awesome so far, I've got to be honest. Yeah, cool. Askin, let's go. And this is new. What's he talking about? Did you by any chance receive any weird training or techniques from that Osho fellow? I feel like Askin knows a lot more here than I would maybe expect him to. You're not experiencing reishi poisoning. That's really cool. Oh, that's not it. Oh man, there's got to be more than that. That's so cool though. They're actually having a fight. I mean, Ichigo's not really trying by the looks of things, and Askin's already like, oh, I did not want to be doing this. This is it. This is it. Oh, Nanau's on her way. Here we go. This is it. Bringing the swords up. I can't believe we're here. Time to make my next move from the end of the rope. Bankai. Yeah, so they've cut out Ichigo. Of course, they've cut Ichigo and Askin's initial interaction, which is a bit of a shame. Whoa. It's yellow? Okay, that's really awesome. The pines moving across the floor like that. Initially, I was like, what is up with the yellow? And I was like, oh no. But then when the pine needles actually came, when they actually appeared and crawled along the floor, it sort of made sense. I like the swirl effect on the building as well. That's really cool. All of the buildings have these swirls on them almost. I think it is supposed to be like a traditional Japanese theatre, which would make a lot of sense. Okay, so that's a little strange. They've kept in Kyoraku's line about the world looking dark and lonely and full of despair, but it doesn't look like that at all. It doesn't look like that at all. It's like bright gold. I like the area of effect nature of it, though. You really sense the area of effect, which is really awesome. It gives off the impression that it's very powerful. Man, Leo's X-axis looks so cool as well. It is immensely satisfying every time those lights flash. I actually kind of can't believe that we're here, that we're actually seeing Kyoraku's Bankai. See, I'm a little disappointed they left in Leo's line that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, where he says that we know one thing for certain: if the wielder of the Bankai dies, the Bankai goes with it. You know that's not true! Driscoll Bursey was wielding Chojiro's Bankai after he killed Chojiro. And Yhwach stole Zanko no Tachi. I love the sound effects as well! There is a real traditional vibe to this. That looks so cool, with the tree behind him as well. Again, like it's like a traditional theatre backdrop. I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about the gold sky, but I mean, I think it looks cool. It's a cool effect. I think it's just a part of me misses that inherent darkness that comes with Kyoraku's Bankai. All of the blood just like bursting out of Lille's eyes then. And now they're in the abyss. We're going to go all the way to Lille. Wow, Lille looks massive there. Yeah, I think maybe part of me just misses the inherent darkness that comes with this Bankai. Because obviously when he activates it, it's supposed to plunge the area into total darkness almost. And people are supposed to get the sensation of the chills and this horrible feeling of unease. They showed Chad and Orihime. I think they showed Yoruichi was with Grimjo as well, though I kind of went straight past that, which is very interesting. They showed Chad and Orihime making the poses they make, like they're clutching their hands and stuff, but they didn't mention any of that, which is interesting. I mean, this is Katen's voice as well. Oh, that's so awesome. The two hands appearing behind him like that. That's very cool. I like the visual of them being deep underwater, but the gold light is still kind of coming in from the surface. Katen looks really awesome. I openly said before this episode began that I was going to be coming into this with some level of bias, but I mean, this has been really cool so far. I mean, what a tricky Bankai to depict, and I think they've done a pretty solid job. Even though I miss the idea of it plunging everything into this depressing darkness, at the same time, it's so visually distinct, so unique, and so theatrical, which is really what you want, I would say. Yeah, so they're probably going to end this episode with Lille's death. Lille's rushing towards him. Look how cool Kyoraku looks there. The white thread of regret, bringing it round like that. That's so cool. Look at this art style. That is... the red thread. Lille's... I love the sinister music as well. Lille's head just exploding. The whole top half of his body is completely obliterated. That was awesome. The whole kind of final section, especially of that Bankai, was incredible. That was beautiful to behold. The painterly effect as he cut Lille's throat. I mean, that's so awesome. So maybe this is going to end with Lille blasting him through the chest. I really like the effect of everything under the water. I think that looks really cool. It gives this Bankai a kind of weirdly ghostly look. Is that the end? That's a weird place to have a cliffhanger. It is the end. Okay. That's a weird place to have a cliffhanger because it makes it seem like Kyoraku is going to say something important there. But, at least in the manga, he doesn't say anything. He says, Ohana, I, and then he gets blasted. So, unless they're going to add something in, my assumption is we might move directly into a flashback, perhaps, and then Lille returns, although that could be completely wrong. Either way, I mean, I thought that was really, really awesome stuff. I mean, visually, what a treat. That Bankai looked so good. That was one of the coolest looking Bankai I think I've ever seen, really. I mean, again, I know I'm biased, but what do you want? What do you want from me? I loved it. Yeah, wow. Really, I mean, that was just great. That was really, really cool. Very, very faithful to a T again, which is fine, ultimately. It's a little bit of a shame that we're not going to likely get anything new from these fights. But I mean, what can you do? What can you do when they're already as long as they are? Both of these battles are going to take 2 episodes apiece, as expected. A little weird, I think, that they showed Pernida surviving already. I think that if you are splitting the battles up to create the illusion that the good guys have already won, then why bother showing that? Oh, yeah, I forgot about the poem. I probably put my headphones back in. Nemu's hand. Is that Nemu's voice? Baby Hold Your Hand 2. That's not too surprising. I kind of thought the episode might be called Never Ending My Dream, but there you go. That didn't really sound like Nemu to me, but maybe I've just completely forgotten what she sounds like. Anyway, that was a great. I love that episode. Like I said, I went in with high hopes and high expectations, and it was cool. It was really, really cool. I mean, there are some things that I'm a little bit like, I need to have another watch. Like Kyoraku's Bankai not covering the world in darkness is a little bit like, it's just an artistic choice at the end of the day. It's funny that they went the complete opposite direction. I think maybe you could have covered the whole battleground in this crushing darkness to begin with, and then lifted it like a curtain for a theatre, and then revealed the gold background. I don't know. Either way, though, it looked so cool. I mean, the pine needles spreading along the floor as it was activating, that was really, really cool. Again, what a tricky Bankai, I think, to bring to life like that, but I think they did a genuinely really awesome job. Crucially, very distinct, very unique, and they captured that sinister vibe really, really well, I think, even without the darkness. Yeah, very, very cool. And Lille looked really good as well. Like, Lille looked really awesome. You know, even though he has no mouth or anything, he's emotive. He looked godly. He looked kind of creepy. This seraphim biblical angel, which is only going to get weirder. Probably not next week, although I guess there's a chance. Like, if they open episode 36 in the same way they opened this episode, then we will see Kyoraku getting blasted at the start of next week. So, yeah, I think I really, really liked it. I don't think there's much I didn't like, to be honest. I was very impressed. Very happy, considering this was like the fight I was really excited for. I think so far they've done a really good job. It is very faithful. It did feel like it moved quite fast, and I think that does come about as a result of it being so faithful, especially if you have read the manga already. Then you kind of know what's coming beat for beat, and that makes it feel like it is moving a bit faster, I think. But yeah, on the whole, I really don't have many complaints at all. I think for the most part, they did really well. The true test, of course, will be the next half of the fight, when Lille transforms into something really weird. How's that gonna look? Obviously, it's a little bit of a shame as well that the Shinken Hakyoken has had no foreshadowing whatsoever. You think that would be a bit of a priority in hindsight, now they've had the chance to redo things, but it's clearly going to play out essentially exactly as it did in the manga, for better or for worse. So, yeah, very excited to see that carried on. Next time, however, will likely be the end of Mayuri versus Pernida, which will then transition into the end of Kyoraku versus Lille. I'm still, having seen this episode play out, not sure what the benefit is of having these fights play out at the same time, what you get out of it, really. It doesn't seem like a lot to me, but either way, I thought this was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go away and collect my thoughts, obviously bring you my review as always. But yeah, that's it from me, I think. What an incredible Bankai. I thought that looked really, really special. Really, really cool. I loved everyone sensing it, even though you didn't get the words from Orihime, I think Ganju and Chad. Everybody felt it, though. That was the thing. Everyone across the entire cityscape felt this Bankai activate, and you see it spreading out across the buildings as well. Really, really cool stuff. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. I think a really, really just a great episode. Beautifully done, artistic, theatrical. I mean, it was very Kyoraku, and that was great. That was really all I could ask for. So yeah, that's it from me, I think, guys. I really did love this one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of episode 35 of the 1000 Year Blood War arc titled Don't Chase a Shadow? Were you happy, of course, with the depiction of Kyoraku's Bankai? Definitely, obviously, the main event here, the big show-stopping moment of the episode. I can't believe we finally got it. You know, like, it's not really sunk in that Kyoraku's Bankai is here. Really, the first, I would say, of the big, new, most anticipated Bankai reveals that come in the Varvelt arc. Yeah, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. Did you like how Lille looked? Did you like how the first half of this fight played out? How the anime adapted it? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, I want to end the video by saying a massive thank you and giving a huge shout out to my wonderful supporters over on Patreon, without who I simply wouldn't be able to keep doing this. If you enjoy the work here I do over on YouTube and you also want to support me that little extra step further, then thank you so very much. By supporting me at the $1 tier a month, you can get your name in the credits of every single video just like this, and at the $2 tier or higher, you can enjoy every video I release absolutely free of baked-in YouTube ads. Alright guys, once again, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you later, and I'll see you then.